friends, and thanks for joining me. And today I want to talk to you about LED light bulbs and if they really make a difference. I have to admit that this is a video that I wanted to do a really long time ago, but unfortunately I put all my notes together and then I lost them and forgot all about the fact that I wanted to do this video, and so it recently resurfaced, and when I saw it I was really excited because the information is still very relevant. So anyway, we moved into our house, and when we moved into our house, almost the entire house had incandescent light bulbs. Of course, there are three types of light bulbs. There's incandescent, there's compact fluorescent, and then there's LED. Out of all of them, the incandescent light bulbs are the most inefficient. They use the most electricity, and while they provide good light, they also make a lot of heat, which is part of the reason why they are so inefficient, because they use so much electricity to make that heat. Well, not only is that not good for our electric bill, but that can also be counterproductive in the summer months when we really don't want the heat in the house. And so I wanted to replace the light bulbs so that not only the house would be more comfortable in the summertime, so that it's not adding all that extra heat, but also save on the electricity. So we couldn't get the project done right away. We had to live in the house for a little while first, a month and a half, whatever it was, until we actually got it done. When I moved in, I figured out, though, when the people came to look at the meters to find out, because our bill right now has electric and gas on the same bill, I figured out when they come to read those meters, and I actually planned the light bulb project around when I thought that they were going to do it. I was actually off by 2 days, but it was really close. So I planned to do this project right as they were doing the metering, so I knew that the month before it would be all incandescents, and then they would basically meter read around the time when I did this light bulb project, where I switched out all of these light bulbs I had in my whole house, which I had a whole bunch of these, incandescents and a whole bunch of these compact fluorescents, which I'll talk about more in a second. And then the next month would be a month of all LEDs. And then if we just didn't do anything else different, we would be able to successfully, compare how it is with the, incandescents and the others versus having a whole house full of LEDs. Do you see what I'm saying? I planned this as an experiment so that I could actually see and figure out the numbers and, crunch all the numbers and such. So I talked about the incandescents and why I don't like those. They use a lot of electricity, make a lot of, heat. The reason I'm not a big fan of these compact fluorescents, they do save a lot of money on electricity because they do use a fraction of the amount that the incandescents do. These also have mercury in them, which is really bad for the environment. It can be really bad for our health to break one of these, because then the mercury actually becomes a gas and we can breathe it, and that's obviously damaging to our health. But these also have the ability to put off radiation, or like the UV radiation that you get from the sun, that can do, cellular damage to your skin. And so I just feel like these are not a very healthy or environmentally friendly choice, even though they save electricity. I just feel like the fact that they're polluting the environment with all the mercury actually is worse than if they were to just, use the regular incandescent, where it just uses more electricity. So again, that's the reason I'm not a fan of those. So what I did is I went through and I figured out all the different light bulbs I need for my house. And I will say that I needed a ton of light bulbs. Our house is very big, and so in just the living room, kitchen, and the dining room here, which is kind of one big giant space, there was 19 lights with a total of 20 light bulbs. And that's just this section. We have the apartment upstairs, we have our bedrooms, we have the bathrooms, the laundry room. Oh, there was a lot of other spaces, so I don't even know how many it is. But I will say that this box right here, I didn't put it here to, promote liquor, but this whole thing is full of just the incandescent light bulbs that we took out. Now, I know it seems kind of weird to take out perfectly useful light bulbs and put in new ones and spend all that money, but I knew that it was going to save some money, and I'm going to share that with you here, hopefully, in a second. And then I also took out a whole bunch of these compact fluorescents, and so there's actually a second box back here that's, I don't know, probably about a third with just those. So after I took out all of the light bulbs and replaced them all, I went through and I figured out what kinds I needed, whether I needed dimmables or if I needed just regulars, because there are regular ones that are cheaper than the dimmable versions, and so I wanted to make sure I was only paying the extra to get a dimmable version on the ones that actually dim. And then we had some specialty ones where we needed ones with like a candelabra base, although I do have some of these little adapters that actually take a normal size light bulb and make it into a candelabra base, so we could use that in like some of our ceiling fans and such. These do make the light bulbs stick out a little more though, so keep that in mind if you wanted to use that. But these are cheaper than buying these, plus a normal bulb is cheaper than buying the specialty light bulb, I will say. But we tried to get, you know, the cheapest that we could on everything in the whole house, and including using a few of those adapters and things like that. And so we added up how much we had to spend, and we ended up spending about $70, which I know sounds like a lot of money. And it was at the time, and my husband was like, is that really necessary? I mean, all of the light bulbs, again, were perfectly functional, and all we did was just replace them, you know. But when the bill came, and I compared the electricity from the month where we were running all the incandescents to the next month where we were running all of the LEDs, the difference was about $19.71 in electric usage. And again, we didn't change anything else. We cooked about the same we would normally. We did everything about the same that we normally would, except that there was a $20 reduction in our electric bill. Now, if you think about that, 20 the first month, 20 the second month, so there's 40, 60 on the third month. So the fourth month, after about, you know, half of the month or so 3.5 months later, that $70 paid for itself. And then after that, you see what's called the ROI, the return on your investment, where the money that you actually spent is actually now making you money or saving you money, if you look at it that way. So now that we've been in the house, you know what, 9 months now, not only did we make our money back, but we've also saved a lot of money since then. Since the light bulb project, I haven't had to replace a single light bulb. LED light bulbs last way longer than a lot of the other versions of light bulbs do, and so that's nice. But yeah, so I feel like seeing a return on your investment on something like that in just 3.5 months is actually a pretty good, you know, time frame to see, you know, a return on that. And having lower electric bills is definitely, in my opinion, make it worth it too. So hopefully that answers your question. Do LED light bulbs really make a difference? I say yes. This is obviously going to be very specific to each person's house, you know. If a person wanted to replace all of their light bulbs with, you know, LEDs, how many of them are incandescents? How many of them are compact fluorescents? How many light bulbs do you even need? You could need a fraction of the light bulbs that I needed in my house. You know, you may only need like half, a third, even a quarter, and so it won't be as expensive to have to do the project up front, but you also won't see as dramatic of a drop in your bill either. So do keep that in mind. But if you do want to save some money on your electric bill and you want to do something good for the environment, I would highly recommend upgrading all of your light bulbs to these low maintenance LEDs. The price has really come down in the recent years, and I think that they're really high quality. They put out a good quality of light. You can get them that are kind of a soft white, or you can get some nice bright, crisp white lights. And yeah, so they have everything that each person would need, and they actually work really well. And again, you'll see a big reduction on your bill. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. I'm Frugal Green Girl, and we'll see you next time.